It's your boy, Jeff Jones.
It's the upset specialist, Thomas Boykin.
Your QB that's running this operation, Mike Jones.
And this is 234 Sports Talk. Let's talk about it. Fellas, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it.
Yes, sir.
A lot of upsets, man, in college on Saturday, man. You actually mentioned a few of these upsets. And I kind of was like, I don't know, man, but you called a few of these upsets, you and Mike Jones, Tom. So we know the number one thing I want to talk about this because the number one team, well, the former number one team, Alabama, escaped, and you all mentioned this. They escaped Texas' wrath. Almost got them. But there were a number of upsets. Marshall beat Notre Dame, number 8 Notre Dame. Appalachian State, Mike Jones, you talked about it, beat number 6 Texas A&M. Washington State beat number 19 Wisconsin. Kansas beat West Virginia 55-42 in overtime. Kentucky beats number 12 Florida. My goodness, man, the list goes on. Georgia beats Georgia, what's that? Georgia beats Nebraska. Georgia Southern, not Georgia, but Georgia Southern beats Nebraska 45-42. My goodness. And now we got a shakeup in the college top 25, college top 10. We got a shakeup. Fellas, let's talk about it.
Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them.
Let's talk about it.
Yes, sir. The big news, I'm sorry, Scott Frost deserved what he got. I'm sorry. You can't lose as a powerhouse. You can't lose to Georgia Southern.
No.
You cannot lose to Georgia Southern, period. It's just the way it is. But Marshall, come on, man. Marshall beats Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Heard.
And South Bend.
And woo! You didn't see that one coming.
No, sir.
You didn't see that one coming.
Nobody saw that one.
Nobody saw Appalachian State beating Texas A&M either.
No, sir.
Nobody called that one. I like seasons like this where you got a lot of parity because you don't know who's going to do what. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is what makes sports great, man. This is what makes sports great.
Fellas, so which upset really stood out to you guys on Saturday as you watched college football? Which one of these upsets really stood out to you guys?
Nebraska, Georgia Southern. That is a monumental upset. What you got on it, Mike J?
I tell you what, man. Like you said, man, there was some surprise that, man, like you said, Nebraska, Georgia Southern. I'm gonna allude back to Appalachian State and Texas A&M. I haven't been sold on Texas A&M since Fisher, Jumbo, whatever you want to call him, been the head coach. He has not done. He's gonna be one of them cats that got all the talent in the world but cannot produce it. Now, my thing is, as far as upsets, man. I don't know, man. I just love them all. I really couldn't predict any of them like that, but it is what it is, and I love it. Like you said, Tom. Look, we talked about it last Thursday that, you know what, this is padding your stacks. This is for the bowl. Thomas, you sitting and alluded to this is what this weekend was about. Hey, you cannot do that anymore in college football because any week you can get beat You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You can compete on any. Look, what's that movie that
Any given Sunday?
On any given Sunday, on any given Saturday, you can be beat in college football.
Facts.
Well, fellas, this Marshall game, playing against Notre Dame. Notre Dame actually paid Marshall $1.5 million to play. $1.5 million to lose, might I add.
That's what I was getting ready to say. They paid them 1.5 to come in there and smoke them. What?
That was a shocker to me. What? That was a shocker. I really thought that Notre Dame would rebound after that loss to Ohio State.
That loss was so resounding, it knocked Notre Dame out the rankings.
Yeah.
They're not even ranked now. That's how bad that loss is.
You know what? With that Notre Dame loss, see, now you got analysts, you got people sitting up there talking about this head coach, and I hate it for him because now they're looking back like he's another Ty Willingham that used to coach Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I think, man, Kelly might have seen the writing on the wall in Notre Dame, and when they sitting through that offer, he was out. It is hard to win at Notre Dame University. It is hard. It is hard, like winning there, like it is to win at Vanderbilt. You know, it's just hard. Granted, they are always Notre Dame. To me, you know, I'm tired of them always ranking them 5 and 6 preseason every year, giving them the benefit of the doubt. This is not Rudy. Rudy is not on that team anymore. Okay.
Fellas, do you feel as if, and I feel this way, I kind of feel as if your usual suspects, you know, your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Notre Dames, your Ohio States, your Michigans, I kind of feel as if Clemson, that they favor these guys. They favor them when it comes to making these polls, and they just throw them in there. And I kind of think that is you know, they living off the past or the prior years. And there's been a shift in the power as far as college football.
Oh, absolutely. There's things that I believe, and Mike Jones might agree with me. I believe Alabama's on the down spiral. I believe that. I believe that actually who's getting ready to take over the conference is Georgia. Georgia's getting ready to take that conference over by storm. I mean, the way they're playing the last 2 years, the last 5 years, because they've been in contention at least the last 5 years. So, I mean, they're overdue. The dogs is eating right now. And I ain't mad at them. Oh, yeah, they definitely hungry. Definitely hungry. But, man, this is unbelievable, man. Some of this stuff is unbelievable. You can't write this stuff.
Hey, look, big dog, big Thomas, and Jeff. Like you said, Jeff, I think they pencil in people preseason because of their traditions, their prior thing. We watched Alabama against Texas, you know, and the reason why I had called it last week was because Alabama, you know, they talked about how Georgia lost so many players to the NFL. So did Alabama as far as on their offensive side of the ball. They had to break in new wide receivers. Did you watch? And Thomas, I know you watched the game. They were so undisciplined. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Maybe give them another 3 or 4 years. Alabama may be back on the radar like that. But look, they pushed them back to number 2 in the rankings. I think that I think they're gonna get really exposed in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? And it won't be
yes.
And the thing about it is, what sucks is they don't really play too many teams from the East. And I'm gonna tell you, I really feel like in the SEC, I think the SEC East is maybe a little bit better than the West. You know, Alabama really they playing a down LSU. They're gonna play who? Mississippi State. Mississippi State is probably gonna give them some problems. Arkansas definitely gonna get them. Arkansas may be the best program over there in the SEC West. You know, and then like you said, Jeff, we keep penciling in like a Clemson. You know, Clemson does not deserve to be in the top 5. Who else is in the top 5, man? Hey, you guys can sit and spout up, but I don't know. But I just think it's a trash. Whoever, look, let us sit and write in who we think need to be top 10 or the top 25.
Well, Mike Jones. We look at it. Well, I'm gonna just tell you right now. This is the top 5. Georgia's number 1, Alabama's number 2, Ohio State is number 3, Michigan is number 4, and Clemson is at number 5. And once again, I agree with you totally. I don't think that Clemson is a top 5 team. I really don't. But when you look at the schedules, you know, they always talk about strength of schedules. But when you look at the so-called powerhouses, when you look at the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Ohio State, well, I won't say Ohio State, but when you look at Georgia and Alabama, and you look at those schedules, man, I'm kind of like, you know, some of the teams that they're playing, as in the words of Thomas Boykin, cupcakes. And I think they're only going to be tested a few times throughout the whole season.
And this is how they keep their number 1 ranking, because of them. They might play a tough game here and there, but the rest of the season is Cupcake City. And how are you going to determine a champ if you playing cupcakes all day? That's why I like starting seasons off like Ohio State started off 2 against 5. That's how you start the season to see if you go. That's how you test your squad to see where they really at. Right off rip.
Look, and I'm gonna sit and say this. You know what? I don't think there should ever be. And I guess it's fun for the fans to sit and write a preseason ranking, but that ranking should not come out until maybe the first week or maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the line. You know what I mean? And you gotta think. Look, go ahead, Big Thomas.
Week 3. That's when they should put that ranking out. Week 3.
Yeah, y'all 3. And that's where it should have started at. But to have Alabama, you know, and it seems like it's some bias sometimes with a program like Alabama, you know, Nick Saban, you know, granted, Thomas, man, like you said, you hit it on the nail last week with the cupcake schedule. And you know, Wichita used to get away with it back in the day too. Bobby Bowden with Florida State.
Yep.
Florida State used to sit up there, man.
Yep.
And, all they had to do was put them in the top 5. And guess what? They played the ACC, which is where they is nowhere near where they were now. You know, and all he had to do was just win out. And he's in the championship game.
Keep this in mind too, during that area, the ACC football-wise, trash. Hate to say it, but they were ACC was trash. As far as football goes, nah, they didn't do nothing. The only team they had was Florida State, really, at the time.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the only team that they really battled back then was Florida.
Yep. that was just a in-state rivalry game.
We ain't even gonna bring up, because they wasn't even in the conference during that time. Nobody wanted to play Miami.
Nope.
That's right.
Florida State did play them every year, but guess what? They was always wide right or wide.
Yep. Did nobody want to see them Canes back then, man? But I mean, come on, this is the evolution of college football. We've gone from, because really, if you think about it, we've gone totally against somebody going undefeated. Undefeated people are getting disrespected when they go undefeated. Now your schedule, not strength, your strength of schedule, but you're still undefeated. case in point was last year with Cincinnati. Oh, they played a cupcake schedule, and they went to Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame. Now, what you got to say?
Well, fellas,
It is what it is.
When it comes down to and I was talking with my youngest daughter, she likes to watch the college football, and we were talking about this earlier, and she said the same thing, that when it comes down to the playoffs, watch, they're going to favor Alabama. They're going to favor them. And then somehow with the strength of schedule, you're gonna look at them, and then you're gonna look at, say, on Ohio State, who I think, to tell the truth, when you look at the top 5, I think Georgia and Ohio State are probably the best 2 teams. That's my opinion. Georgia and Ohio State. I think those are the 2 best teams in the top 5. But they're going to look at those schedules, and somehow they're going to favor, I guarantee you, listen to my words, Ohio State. I bet you they'll end up number 1 at the end of the season.
It never fails. Number 1, they're going to bring Alabama back because, number 1, here's what they do. Especially if it's Big Ten or other conference other than SEC. If they're in that top 5 and they lose a game, they're going to drop to 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th to open up the door for Alabama to go up to 4-3 so they can get back in the playoffs. Now, don't let somebody, like right now, we got Michigan and Ohio State 3 and 4. Either one of them lose a game, watch them move Alabama up. Watch them move it up.
Definitely.
Watch them move it up.
Right. But I'm going to go this route. I don't think Alabama is going to be in the discussion when it comes to playoff time. I see them losing. I see them losing a couple games in the SEC this year. You know, yeah. But what will be a question mark is going to be like a Boomer Sooner. You know, they are gradually moving them up, and I don't know why, because the past couple of weeks, they barely beat some disaster teams. You know what I'm saying? But they keep moving them up. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for like a team. Look, how the SEC was dominating this playoff thing. I look for the Big Ten to sit and dominate. If there's going to be some question marks, move some teams up to get them in there, I look for this to be a heavy Big Ten playoff series come this year, guys. I don't see the SEC. SEC going to get 1 team in this playoff this year, and that's going to be Georgia. But other than that, I don't see Alabama. I don't see any other team. I look for Ohio State and whoever else is back there.
Michigan. Maybe Michigan. You think Michigan, Mike Jones?
Yes, sir. Michigan. That's going to be another.
I got to give them their props. Michigan looks razor sharp, dude. Right now, they are razor sharp. Their defense is lights out right now.
All right, I got one more school that might sneak in there. It's USC. You know, they got them ranked fairly high, and they is winning. They look real good. They look real good.
We'll see when the mashed potatoes get gravy. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's gonna be some. I believe it's gonna be some teams that sneak in there that ain't never snuck in there that's gonna get in there this year. It's gonna be one surprise team that come up in there. I really believe that.
Do you think, Thomas? Do you think it'll be a team from the MEAC, or where do you think this team is gonna come from? Like Cincinnati got in there last year.
Watch this. Let Appalachian State run the table and watch what happens.
Oh, Tom. Whoa, Tom.
Let Appalachian State run the table and watch what happens. Because you can't discount. They went on the road to Texas A&M and beat them in their house. Now, let's see if they run the table. What are you going to say about Appalachian State?
Well, look,
and they should have beat North Carolina.
Look, The only thing with that, Thomas, is their strength of schedule going forward. They can win every game, but if you're playing against a Middle Tennessee State one week, Kent State the next week after there, they not gonna figure them in being a playoff team for the simple fact they only play 2 or 3 schools, and they lost one of them.
Think about this. I want your mind to ponder on this. Is that not what big schools do with little schools? Don't it work the same way?
Thanks. Well, look. But here's the deal, Thomas. So, like, you take a Wisconsin. Let's throw Jones in there, Jeff in there. Jeff and them sit and they lost this one game, but they run the table. And then say Appalachian State run the table. So who you gonna consider more into the playoff? Wisconsin or Appalachian State?
See, that's where it gets interesting. That's where quote politics come in. Because number one, they're going to discount the fact that Appalachian State, because of their division, is going to be the weaker school, and they're going to bring in Wisconsin. Even though they got a quality loss, even though most people might not believe it, they got a quality loss in North Carolina, which they should have won. They got a quality win against the top 20.
Top 5, wasn't it? Top 6?
I think Texas A&M is top. They might be top 10.
Number 6. Texas A&M was number 6.
So, again, their schedule, when they get in their meeting schedule, okay, we lost the game that we should have won at North Carolina. We beat Texas A&M. If we run our table, they got to look at us. Same way they did with Cincinnati. They got to look at us.
They got to look at you.
They got to. If they don't, something's wrong. Something's real wrong, because now you're disrespecting the little guy for coming in and making noise. Come on now, you got to give some of the little schools, when they get their props up, you got to give them their props.
That's why. Look, that's why now they talking about doing a 12 team playoff. Man, but you know what? I really would love for that to be expanded more.
Really, for me, I would like to see them do a football tournament like they do a basketball tournament.
Yep.
I agree.
That way, now you have a clear-cut champion, no excuses, because they ran the gauntlet. You still have your bowl games, but when it comes to your top 10 or 12, let them run the gauntlet. Whoever's number one at the time, they get to buy however it works. But they got to run the gauntlet, just like you would in the NCAA tournament. Now, if you're the best team, the gauntlet shouldn't be a problem. But that's why they play the game.
Hey, Mr. Jones, Jeff. So far, because I know you are a data guy, you are analyst type dude. So, which conference right now do you have that stats, or that's not on your radar? Which conference is actually doing better?
I haven't looked into that actually. I haven't.
I'm curious.
I know right now off the top of my head, I don't think it's no clear-cut dominator right now, because everybody's taking L's. There's a couple key people that's taking L's or almost L's. So, I mean, it's almost in 2 weeks, it's a toss. Some of your majors, a lot of your majors are doing what they're supposed to do, but the mid majors, yeah, they're getting a little shaky. They're getting a little shaky. So, I mean.
But look, hey, Thomas, like we was talking about the Pac, I think the Pac-12, they consistently losing games, man. Arizona State, they lost. And you don't get to see them on TV unless you're on the West Coast. I think it's just a matter of time before that it just die off.
Yeah, that's
and they You know, and that's what I'm saying. When we was talking about conference realignment, stuff like that, that Pac-12, I think, if not this year, the year after, or whatever, 2024, that's going to be a done conference.
I think it's going to be sooner than later, MJ. I think it's going to be sooner. I think it's going to be sooner than later, MJ.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be sooner than later. That conference is going to be done. It's going to be dissolved. It's too much. It's too much talk of that conference going away.
Yeah, and they're not winning. The teams they do have, they trash.
No, the teams that normally would win it are not even looking good. Your USC's, your UCLA's, your Washingtons, all them is not looking real sharp.
Except for Washington State. Jones.
I have nothing to say.
Think about that.
He gonna get you. He gonna get you, JJ.
Look, hey, Thomas, I'm curious. I'm curious about your mindset. What made you pick Washington State going in to Camp Randall and beating Wisconsin? Because I didn't see it. I just thought you just really talking crazy, man.
No. I've watched the last 3 to 4 years. I've watched Washington State. They are a very competitive bunch, and they don't die easy. And they fight hard. They always have every down. When you got to contend with the Huskies every year for dominance in Washington, and you still got to play your Oregons and your Oregon States and your Southern Cals and your UCLAs and your Stanfords, it's going to make you a tough cat. And they've proven that they're a tough team. Mentally and physically, they're a tough team.
But they went to Wisconsin, man.
Hey, Camp Randall is one of them places, like I told you, if you don't go in there on your A game, you will get blowed out. I'm telling you what I know from what I saw. If you don't go in there on your A game, you will get routed. They went in there with a plan and executed. Can't be mad at them. Cannot be mad at them. And it's not like Wisconsin played a slouch game. They didn't play a slouch game. They just came out, Washington State came out just a little bit better.
They came to play.
Just like them Volunteers got away with their life in Pittsburgh.
Man, hey, we was trying to give that game away. That second half,
right.
And Pittsburgh would not accept the invitation to win.
Yeah, they wouldn't taking the gift. They was like, here, you can have it. Nah, we don't want it. I'm like, what the world is going on with Tennessee? I picked them to win by 10.
I picked them to win by 20.
Oh my good grief, man.
Was that you who said it was going to be a whitewash, Mr. Boykin?
Yeah, I thought that Alabama game was going to be a whitewash. Not?
Yeah. Hey, and if you all noticed earlier in that before halftime, those guys, Texas, they missed the field goal, the kicker.
Yeah.
He missed the field goal. And I said, man, it's going to cost them a lot. It's going to cost them a little, but it's going to cost them. And sure enough, It cost those guys the game.
Yes, indeed.
I tell you what,
come back to get you.
I tell you what, man. If I'm a recruit, man, I wouldn't mind playing at Texas, man, for real. That atmosphere was electric, man.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, man. Those penalties, they was the quarterback, Bryce Young was clapping. The center couldn't get the snap right, man. I'm gonna tell you, if this is a sign, if this is either way, if Alabama's on the downside, like you said, Thomas, or if Texas is on the upswing, man, going into Texas, I love it, man. I want that. I want them to be competitive coming into this SEC league. I'm not for sure. You talked about Oklahoma being more competitive. I don't know. I don't know, Thomas. Texas looking.
Yeah, Texas. I tell you what, Texas showed me something yesterday. I had to open up my eyes a little bit. I'm like, oh, what, Texas? Might have got that one wrong. So, I mean, but yeah, this is going to be a great year of college football. I guarantee you.
Yes.
This is
Definitely
going to be a great year of college football. This is going to be one of them defining years where you're going to get a clean cut winner.
Well, fellas, it remains to be seen, and we'll see if Texas is real or if Alabama is just, skirting by. We'll see, definitely. But until the next time, fellas, it's been 234 Sports Talk.
We're going to talk about it another time.
And we'll talk about it another time, fellas.
Yes, sir.
And we're out of here.
We out of here.
Till the next time.